What's up guys, my name is Ameer and you are watching Phone Now. It's day to comparison of LG V40 versus OPPO F9X and Samsung Galaxy Note 9. All these phones are flagship of LG, OPPO and Samsung continuously. They are best in their brands and also 2018 flagship phone features, design and also expensive. Here we compare them to each other and see who is the best in features, price and performance. Let's start with display. LG V40 ThinQ got a 6.4 inches with 1440 by 3120 pixels 537 ppi density notched optic OLED display, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 for protection, always on display. Whereas the OPPO Find X comes with beautiful 6.42 inches bezel-less AMOLED display with 1080 by 2340 pixels 401 ppi density and Gorilla Glass 5 for protection. And Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with 6.4 inches 1440 by 2960 pixel 516 ppi density and thin bezel on the top and bottom. Gorilla Glass 5 also used for protection in Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Second one is performance. All of these phones are powered by latest Qualcomm octa-core Snapdragon 845 chipset. Talking about the RAM, the LG V40 comes just a 6 gigs of RAM while the OPPO Find X has 8 gigs of RAM, but the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with both 6 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of RAM variants. LG V40 has a micro SD slot up to 512 gigs and 64 gigs of internal, whereas the OPPO Find X have no slot for micro SD card and it comes with 128 gigs and 256 gigs of internal. But the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 have micro SD card slot up to 512 gigs and with internal 128 gigs and 512 gigs of internal. The Galaxy Note 9 has a hybrid dual SIM setup. Here comes to the main department where everyone should concentrate. LG V40 comes with 5 cameras, 3 on back and 2 on front. Triple camera setup on the back is 12 megapixel with f1.5 aperture is primary lens. Second one 12 megapixel telephoto lens with f2.4 aperture 2x optical zoom camera. And third one is 16 megapixel ultra wide lens with f1.9 aperture. You can record 2160p at 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, 1080p video at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second and 240 frames per second. Dual camera setup on the front, it's 8 megapixel primary lens with f1.9 aperture and 5 megapixel wide lens with f2.2 aperture. While the OPPO Find X comes with motorized dual camera setup on the back and single camera on the front. Main dual camera setup on the back is 16 megapixel with f2.0 aperture and second one is 20 megapixel with also f2.0 aperture. You can record a video 2160p at 30 frames per second and 1080p video at 240 frames per second, 720p video at 480 frames per second. The selfie camera is 25 megapixel with f2.0 aperture and you can record 1080p video at 30 frames per second. And Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with dual camera setup on the back and single on the front. Main camera is 12 megapixel with f1.5 to 2.4 variable aperture wide angle lens. And the second one also 12 megapixel with f2.4 aperture telephoto lens and also 2x optical zoom. It can record 2160p video at 60 frames per second and 1080p video at 240 frames per second. Super slow motion 720p video at 960 frames per second. The selfie camera is 8 megapixel with f1.7 aperture and you can record 1440p video at 30 frames per second. Out of these three phones, only Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with 4000 mAh battery and wireless charging support, quick charge 2.0 support, while the LG V40 ThinQ feature 3300 mAh battery with quick charge 3.0 support. Last, the OPPO Find X has 3730 mAh battery with its own VOOC flash charging. Talking about the price, Samsung Galaxy Note 9 with 128 gigs of storage will cost $99 and 512 gigs of storage variant will cost $1259. OPPO Find X with 128 gigs of storage will cost $1155 and LG V40 ThinQ will cost $900 to $1000. Well, this was the quick comparison of Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and LG V40 versus OPPO Find X. I hope you like this video and I want want to know about your thoughts. Leave a comment in comment section. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Stay tuned. Touch you in the next one. Ameer out.